So as part of our BOC revisions, we have added pinwheels to the prohibited signs. We are now requiring that not only historic building signage, but signage within the Main Street district be compatible with the character of the building in which the sign is being erected on. As far as section 10.11, master signage plan required, we are adding in that any multi-tenant development or multi-building complex and any non-residential construction document be required. So when these are the specific type of developments, they are required to submit a master signage plan along with their construction documents that they submit to town staff. And then the last one is the light emitting diode and neon signs. There was an express interest in allowing neon signs, specifically for if we had a diner locate where they wanted to have the retro 50s style. So LED and neon signs are permitted in Main Street, Town Center, corridor commercial and employment centers, but are prohibited if visible within 150 feet of any residential development or zone. Must be compatible with other signs of the building using similar colors, fonts, and styles. Colors must be complementary to the building's design. Brighter colors are asked to be avoided, and white and clear are preferred. They must be designed to enhance the architecture and be compatible with the overall community character. And then they are required to be static in nature and the intensity and color.
So do you limit, I'm unfamiliar with the signage ordinance. Do we limit the size of neon signs or signage in general as a percentage of the elevation, or if it were on a monument sign to limit the area?
Yes, yep. So we have size limitations dependent on the zoning district and then the type of development as far as non-residential versus residential. So yeah, we do have size limitations on all of these.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Hello, this is Chairman Shelton. I believe that question was from Nicholas Nash. So again, I do the same thing. I forget to announce myself when I have a comment. For tracking purposes, please try to remember.
Sorry, Scott.
No, I do the same thing, Nicholas. Believe me. Thank you.
Chapter 11 outlines all of our non-conforming situations. So whether it's a non-conforming lot, a particular non-conforming use, structure, or sign. So this outlines and defines all of those. And so the only BOC revisions we had were the addition of sections 11.37 and 11.3.8. So the presumption of discontinuance is when we can presume that a use is no longer continuing, either by property owner written consent, or if the use has not been in use for 6 months, we presume that it has been discontinued. And then for overcoming the presumption of abandonment, this is where the property owner can apply to the zoning administrator to define that the use is still in use and being the property is being actively sold for that particular use. And then moving on to chapter 12.
So one more comment on that one. And is there, what's your position on abandoned buildings? Should they be demolished or should they become an eyesore if they're left standing over an extended period of time? I'm seeing, for example, on Independence Boulevard in Charlotte, I'm seeing the city going in and tearing down structures that have been abandoned for some period of time, which is eliminating the eyesore. I don't foresee that problem in Waxhaw in the near-term future, but the possibility where it exists, if a building is abandoned, do you just let it sit there for 4 or 5, 10 years?
Yeah, no, that's a good question, Nicholas. So that's probably likely when our minimum housing code would step in with our code enforcement officer. So for example, we're just now, there was an abandoned house on Waxhaw Marvin Road. And so we worked with the owner, who is Lennar, to have them demo the house, because we've had a couple concerns from citizens. And so that's when minimum housing may take place, to where we inspect the house and require either repairs or require more further of a process than that.
Right. So I'm sorry, Scott, this is Nicholas again, but I think the same standard would apply to commercial structures.
It would, yes.
Okay.
That was a great question. And then Elisa, I will hand it back over to you to finish us out with the last 2 chapters.
Thank you, Madison. I apologize in advance for my dogs. I can't control them. So chapter 12 covers historic preservation. This includes the procedures for designating landmarks and issuing certificate of appropriateness. The only revisions we have is that we've removed the sections for historic districts and demolition by neglect. And we've added the figure for designation of landmark procedure chart, which explains the general process of how to designate a landmark historic. And finally, chapter 3 covers definitions, and the only revisions we had is that, again, we added definition for a qualifying tree, and we've added a definition for a story, which is the surface of any floor between one floor and the next floor.
And so we have covered all of our chapters and then the revisions that we have made. So the requested action for this meeting would be for a motion for a favorable recommendation, with the recommendation of the 4-inch caliber tree that we kind of discussed earlier in the meeting. And then we would also request a motion for a reasonableness and consistency statement that we have outlined here. And so I think that concludes our presentation. I'll be more than happy to go back to any of the previously discussed chapters, or open up for a discussion on our motions.
Mr. Chairman, you can make, the board could make a motion that also recommends that the qualifying tree, that the Board of Commissioners look into revising the qualifying tree from a minimum of 2-inch DBH to 4-inch DBH.
So, Madison, this is Nicholas again. Is the intent to put the land development code on the town's website?
Yes. So the land development code is currently on the website, and will also, the final version will be added to the website upon adoption.
So I would ask that in the table of contents that you put in some hot links for the chapters sections. It just makes the document more user-friendly. So you don't, I mean, it's a easy thing to do, but we do that a lot when we're writing large documents.
No, that's a good suggestion. We have it broken out by chapter, but we can definitely, when at the table of contents, where you can click on it and take you directly to that particular page, chapter. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, this is Terry. I have a couple of questions, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And forgive me if I missed it, but have we addressed any lighting requirements or upgrades in this project here, or is that done separately?
Yeah, so our lighting section is incorporated with our chapter 8, where it talks about landscaping and tree preservation.
Okay. Any significant upgrades like across the board, or have you already done LED light conversions in the town? Forgive me for being new, but catching up.
I'm trying to remember if we explicitly address or mention LED lights.
Like
Jeff,
energy
are you-
conservation initiatives with the utility, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Jeff, are you familiar with us adding anything like that, or even Elisa?
So we transferred a lot of the existing language that we had from the UDO that was useful language, and we also made sure that we had spacing requirements for street lights where they're going to be placed on the public street. Also encouraging metal halide, which is the white light, as opposed to the high pressure sodium, which is the yellowish lights that you see out on streets. We added standards for full cutoff, no light at or above 90 degrees, so that the light aims down instead of out to try to limit how much it emits onto neighboring properties. And we added language on outdoor lighting fixtures being designed so that poles do not interfere with other elements of the site plan, such as trees, landscaping, or parking. We wanted to make sure that was accounted for. Trying to encourage the elimination of unneeded lighting or exterior lighting systems, to change over to timers, dimmers, sensors, things like that. We have lighting standards for specific uses such as gas and service station canopies, as well as stadium lighting, vehicle dealership standards, and then also architectural accent lighting, like you see in downtown right now, and outdoor sporting performance stadiums, as I mentioned, and having hours of operation for those lights. So all that is covered at the end of Chapter 8.
Thank you. I've got it here in the book now in Chapter 8. I may have questions later, I guess, as it'll be after this is approved, if we want to make any changes or different types of energy programs that could save us money down the road. Or one follow-up question actually to that. I've noticed inside some of the subdivisions where I live in Millbridge, we've got a beautiful yellow light in the residential area for the street lights. And then in new developments across the road there, they're putting in the bright white. Are either one code or both acceptable within the residential communities?
Both are code. The yellow is the high pressure sodium, and the white is metal halide. And usually the lightness of both colors is kind of in the eye of the beholder. Some people like the yellow light, some people like the white light, some people like light, some people don't like light at all. So been there and done that in my past too. Typically the standard is moving more towards the white light, though, the metal halide, as opposed to the yellow light.
Okay, thank you for that. I did have one other thing I just wanted to throw out there for, I don't know if it requires conversation, but awareness that I saw. You probably all have seen the recent advertisement in Indian Land, a significant commercial, retail, and industrial space, 190 acres. And more. And it looks like there's some employment center opportunity in there. So just to note, since we're offering a couple of significant spaces here, rather close, I don't know if we'll be in competition with that, or if it's something that we, might have to just be aware of down the road. So wanted to mention.
Well, we appreciate that. Hopefully, we'll be fortunate enough to be real competitive with those spots moving forward.
Thank you. That's all.
Do we have any further discussion or comments?
This is Bob Morgan. I just want to comment that I think you guys did an amazing job on it. and it looks great. It looks a lot better than the last one we had, the UDO. It seems a lot more streamlined and a lot more easy to comprehend. So hopefully it'll help us going forward in terms of getting, more commercial development in town. And I just want to say thank you very much for including us in the process and for doing a great job. I just wanted to put forth the fact that I think it's a pretty good document that's going to last us for, quite a while. But thank you very much, guys. That's it.
Thank you so much, Bob.
We really appreciate it, Bob. This UDO that we've been operating under, honestly, it's just an outshoot of a Charlotte ordinance that was created many decades ago. So, and everybody had the same ordinance and just expounded on it over and over again. And, like a lot of our peers around us, it was time to detach from the old 1960s and 70s original Charlotte ordinances.
Yeah, because just being around us for a while, the town's been trying for so long to put in a new, UDO or like noun development code. And it's just refreshing that you guys finally came aboard and just, did it yourselves and put it out. And so, I just wanted to, like I said, let you guys know about that and say that it's much appreciated. And hope it'll make your jobs easier because people come to you, they'll have a better idea of what's allowed than it was previously. Because the previous UDO, like I said, it was kind of like, it's been around for a long time. And it's kind of a slapdash thing, derivative from Charlotte. But thank you very much. I just want to let you guys know that.
Thank you.
This is Deepa. I just want to add to what Bob just mentioned that also the changes or the revised version is also, I feel the team has put in thoughts for thinking ahead of time with the growth, anticipating the growth of AXA, what it would be in 10 years or 10 years down the line. And I think this code, revisions will stand good even then. So that's a lot of thought process into it and a lot of thinking into it. And that's what I wanted to add, that it's a great job done.
Thank you. No, we definitely appreciate the support and the support that the planning board has given us through this whole process. So thank you.
And one more thing, again, Deepa here, Matt, I remember me and you and Blair, we had talked about when I had come in there and we had to look into when the new employment zones that we have added to look into getting commercial or business organizations interested in this new development. So I just wanted to know when is the right time when we start those discussions. I would be very much interested in helping on that front as well.
Sure. No, I appreciate that. I think the sooner the better. I see we got competition in Indian land now, so I think we
I've already
on this train.
Very good. Yes, I will connect with you separately on that, how we can support it. Thank
Sure.
you.
Thank you.
Well, hey, any of your employers out there, if they need a new headquarters, point them down to Waxhaw.
Oh, well, Chairman Shelton here. Thank you guys for your thorough presentation. So we'll get down to business here. I would normally open this up for discussion, but obviously we've been doing that. So with that said, I will ask for a motion at this time. Would anyone like to make a motion to recommend this LDC?
This is Nick Nash. I would make a motion to approve this document with the following stipulations: to increase the caliper tree size identified in section, I believe it was 8.9 from 2 inches to 4 inches, and to create hot links in the table of contents of this electronic document.
Chairman Shelton, thank you, Board Member Nash. With that said, let's open the floor up to discuss this motion. Anybody have anything they would like to add to that motion?
Yeah, so if we could add also recommendation for the future land use and zoning map as well.
Yes. I would append my motion to include the future land use map as presented.
This is Terry. I have a question about process if we want to make an amendment to anything in this LDC. What is the process if we decide that we'd like to make an amendment?
So you can make any recommendation that you would like to change, and you can make that as part of your motion. And then that would move forward to the Board of Commissioners, and then they would make the final decision. And one thing that we'll do moving forward, as with any ordinance or code that you have, over time, there will be text amendments that are done, things that are adjusted. One of the things that we would like to do on an annual basis is look at the code and see if there are anything that needs to be adjusted kind of in one fell swoop. That would be nice. That's the ideal way to do it. But usually what happens more often than not is some issue or item comes up that causes you to look at something specifically on that particular subject matter. Or sometimes a applicant might make their own zoning text amendment requests that we would consider as well at that time.
Thank you.
Chairman Shelton, thank you, Jeff. We're still open on discussion for Board Members Nash motion. Does anybody else have any comments or would like to discuss or add to that motion? Okay, so that's a discussion. So I think to make it clear, let's make a, if we could, Board Member Nash, if you can make your motion favorable or not favorable, the recommendation of the new land development code, updated future land use and zoning map to the Board of Commissioners.
So I have to repeat myself now?
If you could please, and just we'll have one clean motion, and I believe they have it up on the screen for you to add your motion to read off of that, and then add your, adjustments.
Sure. Board Member Nash would like to make a favorable recommendation of the Land Development Code, updated future land use and zoning map to the Board of Commissioners, and to add the following language. Under section 8.9, to increase the tree caliper size from 2 inches to 4 inches, and to add hot links in the table of contents of the land use code for the electronic copy to be posted on the town of Waxhaw's website.
Thank you, Board Member Nash. So with that motion, Alyssa, can we get a vote?
Chairman Scott Shelton,
Chairman Shelton, aye.
Vice Chair Bob Morgan,
Vice Chair Morgan, aye.
Nicholas Nash,
Aye.
Terry Nolan,
Aye.
Deepa Leme,
Aye.
Charlie Thomas,
Aye.
and James Granger.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you, Alyssa. So next order of business, there is no other business. So next item on the agenda.
One more thing, Mr.
One more.
Chairman.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
The motion, yes.
Just for the reasonableness
catch.
and consistency statement, we'll need this one as well. And it's a long one.
Board Member Nash,
Board Member Nash will make a motion for the reasonable consistency. The town revised growth strategy is consistent with the comprehensive plan and future planning goals of the town of Waxhaw. It is reasonable and in the public interest as the town has updated its zoning ordinance named the Land Development Code, which will replace the outdated Unified Development Ordinance as the new regulatory tool for the planning and zoning administration in the town's jurisdiction. It also updates its future land use map, which depicts the town growth strategy as determined by a comprehensive planning process, and updated its zoning map of Waxhaw's jurisdiction and initial zones of the town and zoning districts that are consistent with the updated future land use map.
Thank you, Board Member Nash. Catch your breath now. So with that said, Alyssa, can we have a vote on the motion for reasonable and consistency statement?
Chairman Scott Shelton,
Chairman Shelton, aye.
Vice Chair Bob Morgan,
5 Chair Bob Morgan, aye.
Nicholas Nash,
Aye.
Harry Nolan,
Aye.
Deepa Lemay,
Deepa Limay, aye.
Charlie Thomas,
Aye.
James Granger.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you, Alyssa. And Chairman Shelton, I just want to speak and just want to echo everybody's sentiments on Mr. Morgan's, Deepa's, Terry's, the work that went into this. We certainly, as a plan board, will benefit, and more importantly, the citizens of Waxhaw will benefit. So we appreciate your efforts, the town staff efforts, and the cooperation and the correspondence and the input with us. And obviously, we couldn't have got this far without the elected officials, that being the commissioners, board of commissioners, and the mayor. So it was a great team effort. And again, I'm echoing everybody here on the plan board. Great effort, and it's a great milestone achieved. So thank you.
Well, it has been our pleasure. We've really enjoyed it, and it's been going on 2 years now, as any good comprehensive planning process and rewrite of an ordinance should take. I'm very proud of our group. We just have an outstanding planning department in place now. Honestly, hundreds of thousands of dollars were spent in years past, and nothing came out of it as far as the attempted rewrites. So I'm very proud that we were able to come in and do this in-house and get it done. And so now we're just one final step away from it being our policy document in the town. And just want to thank you, Planning Board, for all of your support through this process. It's just been an incredible experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda, F, I believe this time adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn.
No. I make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Board Member Nash. Alyssa, may I have a vote?
Chairman Scott Shelton,
Chairman, aye.
Vice Chair Bob Morgan,
Chair, aye.
Nicholas Nash,
Aye.
Terry Nolan,
Aye.
Deepa Lemay,
Aye.
and Charlie Thomas,
Aye.
and James Granger.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you. This planning board meeting is now closed. Thank you, everybody.